Hi, I'm Rachel Stravelli, and I'm so glad to see you here. Today I'm going to be sharing about how to stay grounded and centered. And one of the things that I notice in my life is when there is a lot going on, it's very easy to get ungrounded and feel like there's too many things and I'm overwhelmed and how do I keep track of all these things? And sometimes when I meet people, it's like, woo, woo, whoa. Like, especially if I'm at a birthday party or a festival or a place where there's a lot of people, there's so much stimulus and it starts to make me have a hard time focusing and not have as easy of a time really listening and connecting and being mindful. And because I value mindfulness, it's so important for me to recenter myself and get regrounded and get back to that place where I feel like I can focus on what I want to and I'm not overwhelmed by all the things. If this is your first time here, then welcome. I am so glad to see you. And my name is Rachel Stravelli. I connect with people and help them connect to the deepest part of themselves. Or maybe not the deepest part, but connect more deeply with yourself. And I also want you to connect more with the whole community of life. So that's the people in your life, hopefully, or bringing in people into your life who you want in your life, and also the natural world and all that entails. So I have a background as a teacher, and I write and I speak and I coach one-on-one in small groups, and I make YouTube videos because I love connecting with you in this way. So today I'm going to give you 6 tips for how to stay grounded and centered. And one of the first things that I do when I am feeling overwhelmed and ungrounded and not centered is to take a moment or two and get outside or look outside. When I have a garden space, I love to go get out there for 20 or 30 minutes and do some weeding or planting or just browsing around and see what's going on. Hiking also works. If you are in an urban place or your schedule's really packed and you don't have the time to do that, then just feel like the presence of your body and look at the sky, whether it's the night sky or the afternoon sky. Just let your eyes rest and absorb that and just feel calmness, and let yourself notice what you can about that space and just take a moment to be in the presence of that space. That in itself may ground you more than everything else that I tell you. I know for me that's one of the quickest ways for me to do it. The second thing that I want to do, which is also often happening when I'm out connecting in nature, is moving my body and really feeling my body. Some people talk about this practice, I think it's called a body check. So you can close your eyes or do it with open eyes, or body scan. You scan your body and you notice, okay, are there places where I feel tension? Are there places where I feel pain? Are there places where maybe there is, like, it's constricted? Or are there places where it feels really loose or itchy or whatever it is? It's really great to start from your toes, because I think this is where the phrase grounded comes, like having our feet on the ground, or as I was talking before, our hands in the ground, really helps ground us. It brings us down and really connects us to the deeper parts of ourselves. So if you've already done the body scan and that seems fine and good, another great thing is to move your body. So you can dance, you can walk, you can cycle, you can do cleaning around your house. Just get something to get your heart moving a little bit and move your body, and really just try and not think about the things that are bothering you, or whether or not it's bothering you, or all the things that have been in your head, and just feel in your body when you're doing whatever this thing is that you're choosing to do. Maybe it's chopping wood. Maybe it's lifting things up into your closet to put away. Whatever physical thing it is. Maybe it's lifting weights, because you don't chop wood, you lift weights. Whatever it is, take some time and really feel in your body. The third thing that I think really can help is to take a media Sabbath or digital detox. So, and I typically try and do this one day every week. And for me, I do it on Sunday. So that's how I came up with the media Sabbath. But a lot of other folks in the online world call it a digital detox. So I will take a whole day where I don't go online. I'm not checking any of the apps or whatever. I'm just being present to my own life and the people around me and the things that are happening. And it really starts to bring my life back down to like, okay, this is my life. I'm not tapped into what so-and-so's doing in Seattle, what so-and-so's doing in Toronto, what's happening over in the Middle East, what's happening in Asia, what's happening in, the southern US. Like, I don't have my attention and my energy all scattered all of those places. I'm just focusing on the dailiness of my life and what is happening right now in my life. And it really can help you to kind of, I use it as like a reset, and it recharges me and it makes me realize that it's really important to take time. Let me see if I can get the sun out of my face, to just reconnect with the people around me without having any of those things in my life, the apps and the dings and the notifications and all of that, which I don't actually have a lot of notifications on my phone. Another thing which is incredibly helpful, and similar to the last one, this one will take you a little bit longer to do. Some of these are quick things and some are longer things. See if you can get some more sleep for a couple nights. Go to bed earlier, take a power nap. Even if you can't fall asleep, just laying down for 20 or 30 minutes, elevate your feet if you like. Tell yourself as you lay down, whatever amount of relaxation that I have, my body's resting, my mind is resting, and I'm going to get up feeling refreshed. This can really help your mind, because you may or may not know, when you're sleeping and when you go through your REM cycles, that is when experiences and information goes from short-term memory to long-term. And so if you're not getting enough sleep, those memories aren't becoming long-term. Your brain also isn't having the time to synthesize and incorporate the information and really evaluate how it wants to keep them in your mind and how it wants to use them. And this can lead to you feeling really ungrounded, because it's like there's so many things to remember and you don't know what you're doing, and the information is not being, placed where it needs to go. Another piece of this, which is a big mindset piece, is to acknowledge your own limits. None of us can do everything. It's just a fact of life. And a lot of people I know, especially mothers, we have taken on so much, and we want to do so much for our kids, and we value staying connected to our partners. If you're married, having a happy marriage. Speaking of health, like taking care of your own health with fitness, with eating well, having a career, having a social life. All of those things start to add up to be a lot. And then that doesn't even count in like the things that happen, like you need an oil change, or you got to renew your car registration, or it's time to find out who you're going to vote for in the next election. All of these things can start to add up to a lot, and it can really be a lot to take in. So I want you to acknowledge, look, I only have so much I can do. And maybe you find a time where, okay, every week I'm going to take a time that's my day to handle all the things that aren't a part of my daily life, but that need to be addressed, or there's going to be a problem, like oil change, car registration, all those little things. It also really helps to do a brain dump. So get out some paper and whatever you want to write with, put it all out of your head. And I find it is even so much more helpful to literally do it on paper and pencil, paper and marker, crayon, pen, whatever. Because on your phone, the way we use our minds with our phones, I feel like we're still in our head so much when we're using our phone, whereas when you get it on paper, it's out of your head, it's out of your pocket, it's out of your purse, you can put it up somewhere, you can mark through it. it has a different relationship when you get these things out. And when you see that list, then you can go through and see, oh, okay, some of these things that feel overwhelming when they're in here aren't so bad when I put them down. We recently moved, and there was one day when my husband and I I was getting really stressed about all the things that needed to be done, and I felt like I was the one who was doing a lot of them, which is kind of how we have some of our things set up. Like I do a lot of the planning and organizing and things like that. And yet with the move, there was just a lot going on, and there were some things that he had to do that I just couldn't do. I can't go renew his license, but it was stressing me out too. So he said, okay, well, let's just make a list of everything that we need to do. And we did, and it ended up being that the list was a lot shorter than I realized. Now, every item on the list, some of them have other things that have to be done for that thing to finish. But getting the list down just gave me so much peace, and I felt like I could take a deep breath. And I felt like I could relax, and I felt like I could breathe better. And I felt more grounded thinking, okay, I see what this is. It's doable, and we can get it done. I can do this. All right. Another thing which is really important, that kind of relates to the last one too, and I think this is number 6. I hope so. I kind of lost count. This goes along with a mindset piece and also being intentional. So sometimes we can feel ungrounded because of the environment that we're surrounding ourselves in, with the people that we're surrounded by, with the things that we have committed to. So it's helpful to take a look at your life and think about, okay, am I around positive people who make me feel calm, or at least who don't stress me out? Or maybe you're around a lot of people who are always like, and feeling crazy, and their lives are always drama and crazy, and you just take that on, and then you're like, oh great, now I feel crazy because I just saw so-and-so and her life is so crazy, or his life is so crazy. Well, it's great if you're supportive to people in your life, if that's what you can do. But if you have too many people that you're doing that for, and it's really taxing you, then that can take a toll on you. And so it really is good every so often, maybe every season, let's say every few months. If you don't have 4 seasons where you are, then I would do it every 3 or 4 months. Take time, reevaluate. Are there people in my life that are really uplifting me, who I feel positive around, who are supportive of me? Or are there people in your life who kind of have the opposite effect? And then I want you to really think about, well, can I do something different? Can I see them a little bit less and see other people who inspire me a little bit more? Our brains are wired for noticing more negative things. It's just the natural way that we are, and it allowed us to survive, all throughout history. Because if we honed in on, oh, that's a poisonous mushroom, oh, that's a dangerous plant, oh, when people act like this, that's dangerous. And so we notice those things, we remember those things, we pass them on. But what it means is, when everything is not so bad, when there's not poisonous mushrooms and plants and dangerous people all around us, we still have a negative bias that's just a part of our brain that we're honing in on those things. So what I try and do, and what I think is really an amazing approach, is to try and shift so that you're more focusing on the positive. So you can have a gratitude practice so that you're shifting your brain to be consistently focusing on the positive. I send people on my email list Wonderful Wednesday email, where it's just 2 or 3, maybe 4 at the max, positive, uplifting, fun, funny things that are about what's good that's going on in the world and what's wonderful. Because depending on where you get your media or who you're involved with and talking to and all that, there can be a lot of negative news out there, and we can do a lot of that ourselves, spreading that, and it can add to the feeling of not being happy, not feeling grounded, not feeling it can lead to feeling overwhelmed and all of those. But if we're intentional with how we're taking that in and what we're doing, and if we make a point to reevaluate, the people that we're around, if we make a point to have some type of gratitude practice, And it's really easier, I find, to have a gratitude practice that is tied to a certain point in the day. So I do it when I wake up and when I go to sleep, and we also do blessings before meals, so that's a moment of gratitude too. So for me, it's like the bookends of my day. And also when something really wonderful happens, like this morning, someone gave me a compliment and it made me feel really good. And so I really just felt that feeling fully, and just like sat with that feeling and felt it in my body and just appreciated it. And I didn't just run to the next thing and start thinking about the next thing. Like, I just spent a minute really enjoying that feeling of the compliment. It was actually after I walked away, so it wasn't like this person told me and then I'm just sitting there like smiling and but it was when I was alone right after I left, and I was just thinking, oh, that's so good. And I'm hopefully going to share that with somebody else. So it's like sharing the good things that are happening with those around us can keep us happy, can make us feel more grounded, because it's just giving that positive feeling to our day. All right, I believe, I'm looking at my list, I believe I covered everything. And if you have things that you do, I would love to hear. You can put it in the comments below. Also, you can sign up below for my email list so that you can get the wonderful Wednesday emails, and it would be a lot of fun. Sometimes folks also send me things that they saw that were positive that week, and so I always like hearing about that. All right, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button so you can stay connected and find out when all my new videos come out. All right, this is Rachel signing off. Bye.